May the 4th be with you, and listen to this, guys. Conditions in the banking sector have improved since early March, and the US banking system is sound and resilient. Could you believe it, guys? This is what Jerome Powell said when he went live and where he discussed the FOMC meeting, and he also discussed the interest rate hike of 25 basis points. Definitely not ideal. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that, guys, in today's episode. And because of this news, the price of Bitcoin did actually go down, but since the last few hours, it is definitely pumping up. So we'll definitely go ahead and look at what kind of an impact it has had on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, guys, one thing which I've said several times in my podcast is Bitcoin apolitical? And looks like one of the Democratic politicians for a change is definitely looking at cryptocurrencies in a positive way. And it is none other than Robert Kennedy Jr. And looks like he's definitely sticking to the agenda of cryptocurrencies, and he's actually bashed the left-leaning administration on their stance on cryptocurrencies. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that in today's episode. And guys, in the month of March, Balaji S did actually place a bet on the price of Bitcoin reaching $1 million per Bitcoin, but looks like he has went ahead and closed that bet. So what I'm going to be doing in today's episode is I'm going to be discussing why he did that, and was it a market manipulation move? Now, if you were to ask me, I do think that this was a market manipulating move by him, and this is what Bitcoin whales tend to do, because what they tend to do is they tend to create demand for Bitcoin, and average individual users who tend to follow them buy Bitcoin, and in doing that, their existing net worth in Bitcoin increases, and all of a sudden, they close these bets and they start selling off the Bitcoin, and in the meantime, they have profited by it. So I'll definitely go ahead and talk about that. And guys, lately, in the world of meme coin, there is massive news going on regarding PEPE meme coin, and is that the new meme coin king? So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss that. And guys, listen, in the month of April, in Google Trend, PEPE coin definitely surged from a rating from 3 to 100, and there are also news about people becoming millionaires in just a matter of few days. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that news. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, we're going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news is regarding Dubai regulator, that is WARA, and they have reprimanded OPNX founders for conducting unregulated activity. So definitely not a positive news, and we'll go ahead and discuss how they were connected to 3AC Capital as well. And guys, the second news is to do with artificial intelligence, and Gulf first AI-powered learning hub called as Healthworth City has been launched for professionals in Dubai. So looks like this might be a positive news. So quite a lot to cover in today's episode. So let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Shalhoub Group, a luxury retailer and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal guys, they are not just getting into the NFT and metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, metaverse and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now instead of E, they've replaced it with Web3 and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below you'll get all the information. And listen guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.premint.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now mind you guys, this number definitely changed 3 to 4 hours after Jerome Powell announced the interest rate hike. Because when Jerome Powell did actually announce the interest rate hike, the price of Bitcoin did actually go down by 1%. But one thing which I often say is 3 to 4 hours after Jerome Powell tends to go live, we tend to see massive fluctuation. So today's episode, I actually recorded it a bit later. Now, as of today, the global cryptocurrency market is at $1.20 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 1.14%. The total crypto market volume of the last 24 hours is $41.97 billion. And guys, what you can do is via coin market cap, you can actually track what is going on so far as the price is concerned on an hourly basis. And if you look at it, when Jerome Powell actually did announce the interest rate hike, it was negative, but now it is looking green or positive. Now, since the last 24 hours, the total crypto market volume has increased by 19.42%, and guys, the total volume in DeFi is once again ridiculously low and down to $3.34 billion, and the total value locked is still below the $50 billion mark. But surprisingly, guys, Lido's dominance has increased significantly, particularly in the last 24 hours, and it is up by 24.81%. And so far as its total value locked is concerned, it is $12.14 billion. And guys, DeFi is still accounting for 6.99% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And guys, this week, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be discussing the 24-hour volume of the top 5 DeFi protocols. Uniswap is definitely clearly an outlier, and the 24-hour trading volume is $1.27 billion. And guys, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume of all DeFi protocols, it is somewhere on the range of $2.25 billion. So Uniswap is definitely more than 50% of all DeFi protocols combined, and PancakeSwap is number 2nd, and the 24-hour trading volume is $400.81 million. Core Finance is 3rd at $132.62 million, followed by Meta TDEX at $56.04 million, and guys, number 5th is Dodo, which is at $50.93 million. Now look guys, if you were to really look in details, Dodo since the last 24 hours has definitely been doing good, and if you're someone who's trying to play with DeFi or trying to make quick bucks, you definitely need to check out Dodo. Now guys, let's look at the volume of stablecoins, and once again guys, the volume is ridiculously low at $38.65 billion, and it still accounts for 92.28% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Listen to this guys, one of the scariest metrics so far as stablecoins is concerned is the market cap of Binance BUSD, and it has gone down below the $6 billion mark. And guys, just few months ago, the market of Binance BUSD coin was on the verge of crossing the $14 billion mark, and because of SEC aggressively going after Binance BUSD, it has had a negative impact on Binance BUSD, and from $14 billion, it went down to 13, 12, 11, 10, and finally now it is well below the $6 billion mark. And if you look at the 24-hour trading volume of Binance BUSD, it is at $2.74 billion, and Tether USDT's 24-hour trading volume, guys, is $29.77 billion. Now what is a bit surprising, guys, is that out of the $38.65 billion, Tether USDT accounts for $29.77 billion. But if you look at its market cap, it is gradually increasing, which does not make any sense. And as of today, it is at $81.81 billion. And I'm talking about the market cap of Bitfinex's Tether USDT. Circle USDC's market cap, though, has gone down, and it is at $30.17 billion. And the 24-hour trading volume is almost 1/10 of it at $3.63 billion. And guys, if you were to compare these numbers for stablecoins, it just does not make any sense. There is no similarity, no commonality, and no distribution curve as well. And what is really worrisome, guys, is the volume of stablecoins is accounting for a very high percentage of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now guys, let's look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Bitcoin's dominance has gone ridiculously up at 47.10%, whereas Ethereum is at 19.10%. The market cap, though, is remaining steady at $562 billion for Bitcoin, and Ethereum is $229 billion. The 24-hour trading volume is at $19.10 billion for Bitcoin, and for Ethereum it is at $8.29 billion. And guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is CoinDesk does have a very brilliant podcast, and in that they were discussing somewhere between the May 1st or May 2nd, so far as the transaction of Bitcoin is concerned, it definitely reached an all-time high. So it looks like people are definitely using Bitcoin. Now, are they using it for transactions? If that is the case, it is definitely ideal. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, and Bitcoin is currently at $29,034. Now mind you guys, when Jerome Powell did actually announce the interest rate hike, the price of Bitcoin did actually go down, but it did not go down by a lot. It just went down by 1%. But if you were to take an aggregation, since the last 24 hours it is marginally up by 1.23%, since the last 7 days it is up by 2.23%, Ethereum is at $1,904, and guys, could it be possible over the weekend the price of Ethereum crosses the $2,000 mark? I definitely do think so, but it's definitely not financial advice, and all price predictions, guys, is 100% right 50% of the time. And later on we're also going to be talking about another biggest and boldest price prediction of price of Bitcoin to reach $1 million. It is not even close to 1/10 of that price prediction. And guys, since the last 24 hours, so far as Ethereum is concerned, it is up by 1.89%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.18%. Binance BNB coin is at $326. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 1.35%, but since the last 7 days, it is down by 1.33%. Now guys, listen, it's going to be really critical to keep on tracking the market cap of Binance BUSD. Unfortunately, and I'm hoping that the market cap does not keep going down, because if the market cap of Binance BUSD goes down further, it's going to have absolutely severe consequences, not just on the price of Binance BNB coin, but also in usage. Because look guys, when you're using the Binance BNB chain, people are using Binance BUSD, and its market cap going down is definitely not ideal, not just for the price, but also for the entire ecosystem. So keep a track on Binance BUSD's market cap. Now guys, listen, one of the biggest and the most anticipated event took place earlier, and that was when Jerome Powell did actually announce the interest rate hike. Now mind you guys, I'm recording this session on the 4th of May, but this event took place on the 3rd of May, and because of the time difference and because I'm living in Dubai, I'm covering this news on the 4th of May. Now Jerome Powell did actually announce the interest rate hike of 25 basis points, but listen to this guys, when he actually went live, the very first thing he said is that conditions in the banking sector have improved since early March, and the US banking system is sound and resilient. And before he actually went ahead and started giving information regarding the interest rate hike, this is what he had to say. Now it's clear guys, he has to say that. He cannot come up and say that the banking industry is in turmoil, and that's one of the reasons why we're going to go ahead and increase it to 25 basis points, because that news will be absolutely catastrophic. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, make sure that you do not watch any cryptocurrency influencers, and don't even listen to any podcast that talk about what that news is. Rather, go ahead and watch Jerome Powell live via YouTube. Now he did give out very crucial pieces of information, and he also mentioned on what has happened so far as First Republic and what role did FDIC play in order to sell First Republic Bank to the regulators and then to JP Morgan Bank. Now listen guys, in this episode I'm going to be sharing my opinions and thoughts. You can agree to it or you can disagree to it, but the key message is make sure you go and listen to Jerome Powell live via YouTube. Now the session did last for 40 minutes or so you can probably listen to it and probably 2x the speed and 3x the speed, because this information is really critical, and it did have very significant impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So guys, in the session he did give the reasoning as to why he's focusing on increasing another interest rate hike of 25 basis points. And during the question and answer session he was asked if in the near future or probably in the month of June will they be pausing the interest rate hike. He did actually say that it is a possibility, but most likely it might not happen. Now one thing what really stood out for me, and something to be honest I wasn't aware about, one of the reporters did actually ask him about the US debt ceiling, and what he said that Federal Reserve Board does not have absolutely any say, and they cannot give out any recommendations regarding the US debt ceiling as well. Now I was under the impression that Federal Reserve Board does actually give recommendation, but looks like it is the Congress who has 100% say, and this is something guys we truly need to understand. Now so far as US debt ceiling is concerned, I've seen so many LinkedIn posts where they bash Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve Board, but the answer is the Federal Reserve Board and Jerome Powell has absolutely no say in it. They also cannot give out any advice. This was something completely new for me. Now in that session guys, he did mention about the banking collapse, and for that the Federal Reserve Board is definitely taking 100% responsibility. And he also discussed some crucial information regarding a report which was released on the 14th of Feb, and that report did not give any anticipation on the bank run. So what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, make sure that you pay attention to what that point is, because it does give some real crucial information. And he also said that in the near future, they're going to be focusing on different mechanisms to ensure that bank runs do not take place. And he also said that JP Morgan acquiring the First Republic Bank was a good move. And to be honest, guys, I kind of agree to it because it does prevent collapsing of the bank, and more importantly, it does protect the customers. Now you need to understand that because First Republic Bank was acquired by JP Morgan Bank, the shareholders lost all of their funds. Now one theme he constantly echoed is that the goal of the Federal Reserve Board is to reduce the inflation to less than 2%. And another thing, guys, which stood out for me once again was he mentioned about the labor market. Now we very specifically mentioned, guys, and listen to this, that the labor market is looking really great. And for every one employed person, the United States of America has 1.6 job openings, and this led to this question of recession. Now he did clearly mention that the labor market does not give full indication regarding recession, but if you look at the labor market, it does give a very, very strong indication regarding recession, particularly in US. Now guys, at this point of time, I really am not sure what the definition of recession is, because the general definition of recession is a business cycle contraction that occurs when there is a general decline in economic activity, and recession generally occurs when there is a widespread drop in spending. But guys, if you look at the spendings, particularly in US, they haven't gone decline, and one metric I can think of is the number of sales in iPhone 14 Pro Plus model has definitely gone to the roof. So far as spendings in US is concerned, it is definitely looking good, and the labor market is definitely looking good as well. So the big question, guys, is how does this news impact the price of Bitcoin? Now, as I mentioned earlier, Bitcoin did actually go down by 1%, but it did actually gradually pump up. And guys, one of the biggest metrics which I particularly think is the market cap of Binance BUSD. Now, I'm not implying that because of this news the market cap of Binance BUSD has gone down, but this is one of the biggest metrics, and you need to remember, guys, that Binance BUSD's market cap has gone down by well over 50% since the last 3 months. So these are my thoughts. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding politics. And one thing which I often say is Bitcoin apolitical? And historically, guys, I've often said Republicans and right-wing ideologies are definitely in favor of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and freedom of speech. But looks like this time a Democratic presidential candidate called Robert Kennedy Jr. is also on the verge of adopting cryptocurrencies, and he is severely criticizing the White House's effort to establish a 30% tax for crypto mining in the United States. And the latest presidential candidate, and guys, listen, he might be a member of one of the most US famous political families, and he did raise a number of crypto issues in his newly announced campaign to challenge Joe Biden. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, follow him on Twitter, because on his Twitter, he has provided a series of information where he's actually blaming the left-leaning administration on why they are not supporting cryptocurrencies. And one thing which he actually said is that cryptocurrencies, led by Bitcoin along with other cryptocurrency technologies, are a major innovation engine. And read through some of his tweets. And look, guys, I'm not sure if you guys actually follow US politics. Now recently, he did have an interview with Tucker Carlson, and looks like he has a very strong stance, and he's definitely against left-leaning ideologies. And so far as his tweet is concerned, he also talked about the energy usage. He mentioned quite a lot of other things as well. And one of the tweets which stood out for me is, guys, he actually mentioned just as biodiverse ecosystem is a resilient ecosystem, so too will our economy be more resilient if it has a diverse ecology of currencies, not just a single, centrally controlled one. This, guys, is absolutely brilliant stuff. That looks like his ideologies are definitely Republican, but he's definitely a Democrat. Now mind you, guys, the mayor of New York, he was a Democrat, and he did say something similar. But when it was actual time for him to accept Bitcoin as payment, he 100% declined like an actual Democrat. So it's going to be really interesting to see what his thoughts are. And guys, if you follow US politics on Facebook, some of the guys who are Donald Trump's fans, they actually saying that if Donald Trump were to become president, he most likely would want to have Robert Kennedy Jr. as a vice president. Now, really, I'm not sure if that is a possibility, where you have a Republican as a president and the vice president is a Democrat. Most likely, I do think it is possible. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding hyper-Bitcoinization. And looks like that theory is definitely thrown out of the window. And Balaji S, somewhere in the month of March, did actually place a bet of $1 million where the price of Bitcoin would reach $1 million in 90 days, but looks like in less than 50 days, he's actually closed on his bet. And Balaji Srinivasan, the former Chief Technology Officer of Coinbase, said that the bet has been closed out by mutual agreement 45 days ahead of his time. So via his Twitter, he did put out a video and he gave out his reasoning as to why he's gone ahead and closed out the bet. Now look guys, what I think is this is 100% market manipulation, because when he did announce the bet, I believe it was on the 17th of March, the price of Bitcoin was hovering somewhere between the $24,000 range, and when he closed the bet, the price of Bitcoin was at $28,638 range. And you need to understand that because I'm in Dubai, the prices might differ. And look guys, what whales tend to do is, and what multi-billionaires like Balaji Srinivasan or Michael Saylor, what they tend to do is, they tend to create the demand for Bitcoin. And the answer is pretty simple. By creating the demand for Bitcoin, people tend to buy Bitcoin and their own existing net worth in Bitcoin increases. So what I think what Balaji Srinivasan did was, he actually put out a bet and he published it via Twitter, and all mainstream medias and cryptocurrency media tried to cover it. So what he has done is, so he created the demand for Bitcoin by publicly announcing it, and because of that, people were actually buying Bitcoin and the prices of Bitcoin did actually increase. And once the price of Bitcoin increased, his existing network in Bitcoin increases, and he decided, you know what, I've made more than 6 or 10 or maybe even 20 or $30 million. Why not go ahead and close this bet? I'll go ahead and pay the $1 million, and I'll also try to blame the government, and as an act of courtesy, I'll also go ahead and throw in $500,000 extra to some kind of charity and organization. I personally think that is what he has done. And listen guys, even Michael Saylor might end up doing something similar. I really am not sure if these kind of market manipulation does have some legal penalties, and I'm pretty much sure the SEC or the Security Exchange Commission definitely need to check on this. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding meme coins, and looks like PEPE is the new meme coin, and it has skyrocketed 2,300% in the last 30 days and has surpassed Dogecoin in trading volume. And in Google Trends guys, the word PEPE coin has surged from 3 to 100 from the week of 9th of April to April 16th. Now there are also talks about some guy who invested $250 in PEPE coin and made over $1 million in just a matter of 4 days. Now the reason why this has pumped up is because it has several listings on exchanges such as OKX, Huobi, and MEX exchange, and because of this news guys, looks like we have a new king in the meme coin, and looks like that is PEPE coin. Now will the price sustain? I really am not sure. Like Balaji Srinivasan, all the price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now those are the news guys from Crypto and Coffee at 8. Now let's discuss two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news is an unfortunate news, but at the same time it is a very strict news as well. And this is regarding Dubai regulators, and they have reprimanded OPNX founders for conducting unregulated authority. Now the website guys is opnx.com, that is O for Orange, P for Peter, N for November, X for X-ray.com. Now if you are someone who is in Dubai and UAE, if you try to use it, it does not open up, so you probably have to use a VPN, which I would definitely not recommend. Now let me try to give out some information on what actually was going on, because looks like they were connected to the founders of 3AC or 3 Arrows Capital, and OPX Exchange is claiming to be the world's first public marketplace for crypto claims, tradings and derivatives. And guys, OPNX, a bankruptcy claim exchange, was established by the founders of 3 Arrows Capital and has received a formal reprimand from Dubai's crypto regulator for operating an unregulated exchange. And Dubai's crypto regulator, guys, is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, and the reprimand was issued to Carl Davis and Suzu, the founders of 3AC, following 2 cease and desist letters from regulators for promoting the exchange to Dubai and UAE residents. And guys, Suzu at one point of time used to be a massive advocate of Ethereum, but somewhere in late 2021, he started to bash Ethereum, and via his Twitter, he did use some foul language regarding Ethereum as well. Now going back to the news, the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority of Dubai, OVARA, stated that it is actively monitoring and investigating OPNX's activities to determine necessary corrective measures for market protection. And Mark Lamb, Sudhu Arumugan, and Leslie Lamb, the founders and CEO of OPNX, were also included in the reprimand issued by the regulator. And guys, OPNX enables investors to trade bankruptcy claims for companies such as FTX and Conflex, and the exchange experienced a slow start with less than $2 traded in its first 24 hours of operation, and trading firms Susquehanna International Group, also called as SIG, and DRW, along with venture capital firm Nascent, all claimed by OPNX as major investors, have denied investment, and Kyle Davis and Suzu faced court orders in British Virgin Islands and United States following acquisition of non-compliance with bankruptcy proceedings related to 3AC. And guys, in 2022, there was massive news regarding 3AC, and guys, the news of Varo's reprimand caused a 5% drop in Conflex token, and the ticker symbol is Flex, and this data can be validated via CoinMarketCap as well. And OPNX's operation as an unregulated exchange violated Dubai's crypto regulations, leading to the regulatory actions taken by Varo. And guys, the cease and desist orders were initially issued in February and March to prevent OPNX from marketing its services to residents of Dubai and the UAE. And Varo's statement emphasizes an investigation of OPNX's activities to ensure market protection, and the reprimand was sent to key individuals associated with OPNX, including the founders and CEO. Now, does this mean that Suzu is in Dubai? Most likely, yes. And OPNX allows investors to trade bankruptcy claims of various companies, including FTX and Conflex as well. And guys, so far as the exchange is concerned, the exchange did have a slow start with minimal trading volume in its initial 24 hours of operation. So it looks like the Dubai regulators are actively seeking for illegitimate products. So listen guys, please make sure that you follow appropriate rules and regulations in whichever jurisdiction you're working from. Now guys, let's discuss second news, and this is regarding HealthVersity. And guys, because of news regarding artificial intelligence, looks like everyone is becoming experts in artificial intelligence. And the news is Gulf's first AI-powered learning hub for health professionals has been launched in Dubai, and that is called as HealthVersity. Now let me try to give out some pieces of information. Now the website is healthversity.com, and HealthVersity, guys, is an online learning platform for healthcare professionals and has been launched in Dubai. And the platform, founded by Dr. Tumbe Moidin, utilizes artificial intelligence and blockchain technology. And guys, I tried to access this website. Personally, I did not like it. Maybe I need to educate myself more on what artificial intelligence is. But you need to understand, guys, that HealthVersity currently offers 200 courses, and they also accept cryptocurrencies as payments, and the platform aims to provide accessible and well-defined programs for doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and other healthcare professionals. And future plans for HealthVersity include introducing artificial intelligence-based features like a virtual instructor, virtual monitor, and virtual assessor. Now, is it going to be truly artificial intelligence? I really am hoping for, because just switching things to a virtual environment will not cut it, because it'll be like computer-based training or CBT. But so far as HealthVersity is concerned, the launch event took place at Plaza Versace Hotel in Dubai and was attended by 200 stakeholders and guests, and a panel of international experts contributed to the development of HealthVersity's audio-visual courses and curriculum. And Dr. Moidin highlighted the interactive and engaging nature of HealthVersity's learning experience. And guys, the platform aims to facilitate effective communication and engagement with a broader audience, and HealthVersity courses are available in English and cater to users at different educational and professional levels. Now, really, I'm not sure, keeping in mind AutoGPT, how this thing would work, but users can choose from various course options, including diploma programs, advanced certificates, master classes, and self-study programs. And upon course completion, users receive a blockchain-based certificate for security and authenticity. So this is the area where blockchain kicks in. Now, having the certificates on blockchain may sound a really cool idea, and HealthVersity, guys, offers diverse course styles such as webinars, case studies, test preparations, and leaders' insights. And the platform seeks to revolutionize healthcare education and equip professionals with the necessary tools for success in rapidly changing world. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this news develops. So those were the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXP. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my other website called area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, I'm actively looking for sponsors. So if you're someone who's working into the cryptocurrency, blockchain, Web3, and NFT space, and if you do want to advertise your product, what I can do is I can introduce your product at the beginning of this episode, and I regularly conduct events. As a matter of fact, in the month of June, I have three events taking place. One is to do with Metaverse, one is to do with central bank digital currencies, and another one has to do with pestle hour analysis on Bitcoin. So I'll be more than happy to display your video and maybe even your logo while I'm doing these sessions live. So if you're interested in sponsoring these events or want to sponsor any of these episodes, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com or info at area2071.com. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Riza who asks, is the UAE following something similar to Harvey tests for identifying what is a security? Now Riza, this is such a brilliant question and I really appreciate it. Now unfortunately, to be completely honest, I really am not sure what the answer is. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, and for our listeners to do, is probably check it with a lawyer, because the Harvey test is something which is well over 50 or 60 years old, and there are 4 criteria that needs to be identified or followed for it to not be a security. And to be honest with you, I have absolutely no idea if the UAE is actually following the same protocols, but at a macro level, I do feel that UAE is kind of following something similar, but once again, I'm 100% not sure. The Central Bank of UAE did release some guidelines and they're actually requesting for commentary, so maybe you might get some bits and pieces of information over there. But to answer your question, I absolutely have no idea. But this is an absolutely brilliant question, and what I'm going to do is, most likely in one of the episodes that are released next week, I'll definitely go ahead and look at that, and most likely I'll try to give out some information. I have another question by Dan who asks, will there be any legal penalties for Balaji Srinivasan? To be honest, Dan, I really am not sure because the rules and regulations in US is completely different. Now, personally, I don't think so that there might be any penalties because when you talk about Bitcoin, because there is no central entity involved, and the definition of Bitcoin is that it is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, he's not kind of promoting a company or a central entity. Because of that, I personally don't think that there might be some penalties. But if the SEC wants to go after Balaji Srinivasan, stating that he's manipulating the price so that he's getting a competitive advantage, I definitely do think there might be some penalties. And this is kind of like a feature and a bug of having a peer-to-peer electronic cash system as well, Dan. Because when you look at it, Balaji Srinivasan has his own company called AZ16 and they are multi-billionaires. And these billionaires, what they tend to do is, because they are whales, what they can do is they can artificially create demand for Bitcoin. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he and AZ16 have thousands of Bitcoins, and you need to understand because of the price movement in, let's say, 45 days, he might have made at least 20 or maybe $40 million because of his bet. But to answer your question, I don't think that he might be facing direct consequences, but I'm pretty much sure if the SEC wants to go after them, they could directly or indirectly go after Balaji Srinivasan. So those were the questions for Ask Me Anything series, guys, for the 4th of May. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com. And guys, please, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how this series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. The other 2 news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.